When a hyena wants to consume her own children, she first begins by accusing them of smelling like goats. Rigathi Gachagua is being accused of smelling like a goat and he will be consumed. He has virtually lost this case. I don't think there is any chance for him. Many would have loved to see them together, ama kufa dereva kufa makanga. But the way things are moving, he has no chance. Itakuwa ni kufa makanga peke yake. And the case has been rushed from the onset. Now today, barely a few hours after the court, the three-judge bench lifted the conservatory orders that blocked the swearing in of Kithure Kindiki, William Ruto has gazetted names that will guide the assumption of office of Kithure Kindiki. Now, in that gazette notice, several things have been said explaining why this has to happen when the office felt vacant and how Kithure Kindiki was nominated and how he was approved by Parliament. I don't want to go into all that. I want us to read a few names here. We have the names that will plan the swearing in, and the swearing in will be done tomorrow, Friday. We've got Mercy K. Kwanja, who is the secretary to the cabinet. She will be the chairperson of this committee. Dorcas Oduor, the attorney general, will be there. We have Winfreda Mokaya, chief registrar of the judiciary. Of course, you know, under the constitution, she will be there. Julius Bitok, ambassador and professor, principal secretary, State Department for Citizen Services. We've got Patrick Mariu, who is principal secretary for Defense. Raymond Omolo, principal secretary for Interior, Security and National Administration. Chris Kipto Daktari, principal secretary for the National Treasury. We've got Coril Singolei, principal secretary for Foreign Affairs. Edward Waswa Kisiangani, professor, principal secretary for Information and Broadcasting. We have Idris Dokoto, who is the principal secretary for Cabinet Affairs. We have Trizia Mbaika, principal secretary for Devolution. We have Umi Bashir, principal secretary for Culture. We have got General Charles Kahariri, Chief of Defense Forces. Nordin Haji, Director General of National Intelligence Service. So those are the members that will sit in the committee that will guide the assumption of the office of the Deputy President. Ladies and gentlemen, not only that, the Chief Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, has also been appointed to take over from Kithure Kindiki because he now becomes, Kithure Kindiki now becomes the Deputy President after swearing in, and he leaves a vacant office of Interior. Now, William Ruto has decided that he does not want to gamble because lobbying is still going on. There are several names being considered there. He has decided that the Chief Cabinet Secretary retains that position on an interim basis. You remember, even after the Gen Z's protest, when the cabinet was dissolved, the Chief Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, was spared, at least so that the government affairs can run. So he has also decided to give Mudavadi that position, apart from the fact that Mudavadi is the Chief Minister, and he is also the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs. But where does this leave Rigathi Gachagua? That is what I want us to try and understand. I have always opined on this, that some people would have wanted to see them go or both of them be retained. But that is now overtaken by events. Number two, there is this question whether Rigathi can still get justice. Now, depending on where you are looking at it from, justice to the people who support William Ruto will tell you that Rigathi had to go because he wanted to topple the government using the Gen Z's protest. But justice from those who are around Rigathi Gachagua will tell you that Rigathi helped William Ruto ascend to power, and therefore William Ruto needed to have tolerated him. It all depends. Now let us just put it blatantly like this. Do you think he can still be reinstated because he's pursuing that case in court. There's one at the Court of Appeal. There's another where the three-judge bench is still looking at this case, hearing, and then they will determine. Do you think there is any hope? Even if you ask their lawyers, is there any hope? There is no hope at all. Because even the judges, the lawyers that represent Rigathi Gachagua had cast aspersion the criteria in which the three-judge bench was appointed. They opined that that authority only belongs to the Chief Justice. But the three judgment said the Deputy Chief Justice has got every authority. They had cast aspersion. They didn't want this bench to listen to it. That tells you that even they themselves never had faith in it. With this ruling, Kithure Kindiki will be sworn in a colorful ceremony, and they want to do it to ensure that those who are looking at it, who still have doubts, will know that indeed Kithure has taken oath of office. That is after tomorrow. The registrar will be there, the attorney general, because attorney general really fought hard at the court. They were represented by Gideon Migai, the former AG, and they have won. The only thing that they wanted was lifting of that conservatory order. Then they will swear in Kithure Kindiki. After swearing in Kithure Kindiki, it will be a done deal. He will proceed to assume office of the deputy president. Remember, the staff that were appointed by now the former deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, has been sent. All the staff have been sent on compulsory leave. So as Kithure takes in by tomorrow, he will come in with his team. I can assure you that you cannot have a case against a sitting deputy and a sitting president. It is a done deal to me. Whether it is wrong or not, but it is a done deal. And people have cried for that, there is no justice. And that has always been the case. That the executive arm of the government always calls the shots. Both the National Assembly and the Senate will always listen to the executive. The judiciary will always listen to the executive. The executive, in as much as we want them to have equal powers, and I remember Maraga was saying that they have been given autonomy by virtue of the people of Kenya that voted, and they are exercising those authority on behalf of the people of Kenya. The same way the judiciary has been given authority by the people of Kenya and the legislative arm of the government. But the fact is, those are just on paper. As long as the executive arm of the government is headed by the president, who is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, who is still the appointee. Because even the Chief Justice, after going through the vetting, 2 or 3 names are forwarded to the president. He has to choose. He still remains the appointing authority, whether the CSS, everything. So he remains the authority, and therefore we say that they're equal, but they are not. And therefore, if you have a country that democracy is only on paper like ours, it is difficult for the judiciary to be independent. It needs a judge with the heart of a lion, like that of the former Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know Rigathi could be thinking of, if this case is going to be, the verdict is going to be against him, he might go to the Supreme Court. But the system is the same. Take a case of the Finance Bill 2023. The Court of Appeal dealt it a blow. But when it went to the Supreme Court after Attorney General appealed, William Ruto got his way. And I'm just trying to humbly submit to you that it is a done deal for Rigathi Gachagua. I don't know whether there is still room. Is there any iota of room that Rigathi Gachagua can resign? Because I feel him. If he resigns, he can get a chance. I think he can still get his dues. He can also have a chance of being politically viable and relevant in 2027. Otherwise, if he goes the fullest length and he gets impeached and the decision is upheld at the courts, then it will be a done deal for him. That is it. The only thing that is very funny is that you're now going to see them crying fall about the courts. Yet this has been the cry all over. They have never believed that the courts are corrupt. There are people who have been making noise like Ahmed Nasir, but Rigathi Gachagua and his team kept on saying that, wale ambao wanalalamika watulie, they have to respect. That is the nature of our democracy. That you don't agree with the ruling or a verdict, but you have to, respect it. Raila has done that several times. There are people who have been affected, but that is it. So tomorrow it's going to be the swearing in. That position has been taken, and I know lobbying is still happening. So we wait for maybe after the swearing in, they will now appoint someone officially. It is going to be a legal battle because Rigathi still says that it is not over until it is over. It is going to be a mere formality. If he decides to pursue it further, it's going to be a mere formality. I don't know what can happen, but the only thing he can do, because I know it can happen in Kenya, he can run to William Ruto. They have a negotiated kind of deal. He resigns. They agree with the court. That is the only thing that can spare him now. Otherwise, if he goes to the full length, it is over for him. For the people of Murima, I want to see how they are going to do it. Someone was telling me that the people of Murima will always follow the one in power. If you are a dethroned king, hiyo ni yako. They don't follow dethroned kings. And I want to see how Rigathi Gachagua is going to maneuver all this murky waters. He's saying that their people don't go to the streets. They wait for 2027. He has lost it here, and if he does, he has lost it in 2027. I don't know what lessons we learn from this, but I've realized that even if you are elected together, there is only one president. There is only one commander-in-chief who controls things, whether by hook or crook, but it has happened before and we have seen it. I know there are people who are happy, there are others who are not happy, but that is the nature of our shadow democracy as it is.